a chance to do a little lap and come and say hello to everybody. We have got such an amazing show for you this evening, everybody. We're going to get things started right away with a singles match, which is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first.
P.E.W Solar Slam on the air. We are in the Ettington Community Centre, getting ready for one-on-one action to start things out. Here comes one of the hottest young talents on the UK scene.
He's too young to die. This is
George Leiden, ready for action to kick off Solar Slam.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent this evening.
Another great young talent, but with a very different outlook. He is 1/4 of the group that calls themselves The Cause. You are looking at Fordy.
Dave, The Cause is not just a name, it is a creed by which these men live. The story of this match is two young guns with two completely different approaches to what it means to claw your way into this business.
Representing The Cause, he is Ettington's least favourite. Even his mum's not cheering for him this evening. This is Ronnie!
And the reception, I think, tells you everything you need to know about what the P.E.W fans think of Fordy. We are just 16 days away from P.E.W Legacy, one of the biggest shows of the year. And at Solar Slam, I'm sure a lot that happens here tonight will affect what happens then. Dave Bradshaw here on commentary, along with the self-proclaimed Professor Dan Leiden.
Excuse me, I am but days away from starting a master's degree, so I think you'll find that is not just a name. Much like Cause is not just a name for Fordy and his band of brothers.
If you're already a professor, why do you have to do a master's degree?
You never stop learning, Dave. That's where you went wrong.
I see. Well, Fordy, as part of the Cause, getting ready for a big 4-on-4 tag team match at Legacy. First time that all 4 members of the Cause will have competed as a unit, and I'm sure he'll want to go into that match with a victory here tonight over George Leiden.
George Leiden is another young upstart with a lot to prove and clearly a lot of talent. But Fordy's really seeing this one as a tune-up match. I was having a conversation with him in the back before. The Cause absolutely confident of success all round tonight.
Leiden getting that high knee, taking Fordy down. Leiden fired up tonight. It is a hot Friday night at the end of the summertime here in Ettington. We're just outside Stratford upon Avon. George Leiden with a suplex, Fordy trying to escape. Leiden's not going to let him. In fact, he's going to go for a side press and he's going to get a 2 count.
Smart from Fordy taking a little breather here. That was a hard shot from Leiden, who a lot of power behind that strike, and you can see it. It's on Fordy's chest.
Well, Leiden was thinking about leaping over the top, I think, onto Fordy. Fordy with a smirk on his face, having dodged that. Now he's got a handful of hair as he sends Leiden into the top turnbuckle.
That's that kind of intensity that Fordy has been learning at the behest of H. Hood, the leader of the Cause.
And we're going to see Hood in action one-on-one later on tonight against Smashing Mike. I'm sure Hood is watching on a monitor back in the locker room, wanting one of his proteges here, to come out on top. And if you're Fordy, with a taskmaster like H. Hood as your boss, I think there's a lot of pressure on you to produce the goods.
There absolutely is, but pressure, what is the old phrase, pressure creates diamonds, and we're seeing here Fordy knows exactly what to do. He was sort of up against it there, those hard strikes. Leiden very much had the upper hand, but by virtue of just taking a quick breather out of the ring, he goaded Leiden into making a mistake, and now it is all Fordy.
Remember, we're back here in Ettington on September 15th, a couple of Sundays from now. And as I said, Fordy will be in action then as well. And if I was one of the opponents in that 8-man tag team match, I'd be worried looking at the form that he appears to be on, although Leiden able to kick out on one. Fordy tries again, same result.
Yeah, but it could be smart to go for another cover immediately after a kick out, because it takes a lot of energy to kick out of a move.
I mentioned
just wearing them down.
I mentioned that quite aside from Fordy and Leiden here tonight, there's plenty of events that could go down here that are going to affect what happens at Legacy, including the two men who are going to compete for the P.E.W World title in a couple of weeks' time. Riley Nova and Jason Joshua, both men have chosen each other's opponents tonight in an attempt to soften their opponent up as Fordy goes for the pin and gets two.
Which, by the way, can I just say that is an outrageous stipulation. Unfair. We'll see how that shakes out.
What's unfair about it?
Well, it's about like, oh, I'm going to pick who you're going to face.
Well, they both get to pick each other's.
Yeah, I suppose.
Meanwhile, Leiden, a kick to the face. I guess you just don't really like who Jason Joshua has picked for Riley Nova. A man who knows him very well. Martin Kirby going to face the world champion tonight. Here comes George Leiden. Handspring, back elbow from the youngster.
Good gracious. That's once again the striking intuition from Leiden. And even at this young age, knows his way around the ring.
Leiden, he thought about coming over the top earlier. Now he does, and he finds his target. Leiden throwing Fordy quickly back into the ring. And he looks like he's contemplating heading up to the top floor here.
Taking a high risk.
Leiden. The crossbody lands perfectly, stays on top for the cover, and Fordy still able to escape.
Have to hand it to him. That was picture perfect high risk action.
Leiden looking for the firestorm as he gets countered there by Fordy. Now Fordy gets clothesline down. Very even contest between these two young talents. Leiden. There's a Fordy bomb. And that's going to do it. Fordy folds up Leiden, who kicked out. He kicked out.
I'm genuinely astonished by that kick out, because that was not just a bomb, that was almost nuclear, the effect.
Man, Fordy beside himself with rage. I don't know why he's screaming at the referee. He's looking for the CV slam here, I think. Counter, great counter from Leiden, who hooks both legs. And Leiden close. Both men getting close to picking up the win. Very competitive opener tonight.
These two are very evenly matched, not just in skill, but in strength.
That big kick there from Leiden right into the face of Fordy. Leiden goes back. Oh! Snap German suplex with the bridge at a high angle. Fordy still able to kick out. Now, wait a second. Here come two more members of the cause. Leiden and Ilano Stone.
They have not as yet got involved in this match. They're just clearly making their presence known.
Oh yeah, they haven't done enough quite to get Fordy disqualified, but Leiden trying to creep in behind the referee's back.
But that is enough to cause a distraction for not only the referee, but also, oh!
Well, Fordy got the inside cradle. Fordy's got the inside cradle.
Oh!
And he got the win. Give the assist there to Leiden and Ilano Stone.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Fordy!
That's it. I mean, the cause out here causing that momentary distraction, but Leiden has to take responsibility for taking his eye off the ball and allowing himself to be taken advantage of, because this was all him.
Leiden absolutely livid as the cause, 3/4 of them without their leader.
That does not belong to you. There's no need for this. There's no need for this kind of reaction from Leiden.
It was something of a numbers game in the end, and you said it, Dan, the distraction from Leiden and from Stone, enough to help Fordy kick off the cause's evening with a victory.
That was a close call, that, Danny. We'll be back to fight another day, ladies and gentlemen. So great to see you all this evening. You're a nice, noisy bunch for us tonight. And of course, we've got, I've been told it's James' mini hen do, is it? Is that what it is, James? You've got a hen do next week. And this is your mini hen do this evening. So, yeah, I'm sure you'll have a great time here with us this evening at Phenomenal Elite Wrestling. And of course, our commentary team doing a great job over there. How's it going, guys? All
great, loving it.
Absolutely fine, thank you very much.
From London from last week. I know a few of the gang were down in London. This gentleman over here is
my voice is back.
Have a great time, sir. There you go, great stuff. I'll just mention, of course, as well, we've got Jenny over on the merchandise stand. There's snacks, crisps, and all sorts of exciting things available over there, so make sure to pop over and say hello this evening. Our next matchup is the first semi-final in the Fallen Angel Tournament, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing first.
The action keeps coming, and the stakes in this one are high. A place in the final of the Fallen Angel Tournament in memory of the late Nancy Benoit up for grabs. And this woman, Ronnie Knox, just one victory away from making it to that final.
Dave, it's been a fantastic tournament so far. Ronnie Knox with a convincing victory at Rude Awakening.
Please make some noise and welcome the wrestling engineer. This is Ronnie Knox.
Knox with a victory over Artemis in her quarterfinal last month at Rude Awakening to make it to this semi-final.
And her opponent.
Now you want to talk about wrestlers who have been making headlines. You've got to be talking about this young woman who has shocked the world in her quarterfinal and will be looking to get what I'm sure many would say will be an upset again in the semis if she were to make it to the final, but she's certainly got the talent to do it.
And she is the representative of the Nyte. This is Violet Nyte.
Dan, we saw a victory for Violet Nyte over Harley Hudson last time you and I were here at Brave New World back in May. Obviously, Hudson, given her accomplishments, was considered by many to be the favourite for the entire tournament, but Nyte had other ideas.
That's one of the things I love the most about tournament competition like the Fallen Angel Tournament is that you can have your favourites, but all it takes is 3 seconds And if you are a favorite going into it, someone like Violet Nyte has a point to prove. And now, as a result of having taken out Harley Hudson, you've got to think this is all Ronnie Knox's. Looking for a scalp right here.
Here's a quick roll up from Knox. Almost ended it quickly. Backside, Knox going to get those shoulders of Nyte down again. Great split-legged stance to increase the leverage. Nyte was able to kick out again anyway. Once more. Going to try and get those shoulders down, this time with the legs hooked, and another 2 count.
Nyte wisely taking a breather because we have been hot off the blocks here.
By the way, speaking of Harley Hudson, she's going to be with us tonight. In fact, with us in our next match this evening, teaming with the brand new Internet champion, Adam Bolt and Harley Hudson, both on the path to legacy. They're facing Ivy and Oscar Prospero this evening.
That'll certainly be one to watch. I'm expecting a 5-star performance from Prospero tonight.
The winner of this semi-final, by the way, will face the winner of our second semi-final, which takes place at Legacy. That match is going to be Alfie against Lily Winter.
This has got to be frustrating for Ronnie Knox in this moment. She really showcased in that early going exactly how she wants to maintain her stamina, really control this match, but it's been just not present as Violet Nyte, walking around the ring, and now, there you go, goading her out of the ring, back into the ring. This is smart strategy. Oh yeah, by all means. Yeah, look, it's athletic competition. It does happen like that. My pleasure, my absolute pleasure. Might keep this bottle.
You are unbelievable. So is Violet Nyte for that matter, as Ronnie Knox looking to stop this ludicrous game of cat and mouse. Nyte with the elbow, Knox moved out of the way.
Have to hand it to Ronnie Knox. There was a trap being set and she managed to avoid it spectacularly.
And Knox able to trip her up, now folds her up in the cover for 2. Knox. And that headstand on the second turnbuckle, kicking Nyte away and then making her collide with the corner.
Got to wonder whether or not this is making Violet Nyte rethink her strategy, which was to frustrate Ronnie Knox, and apparently it hasn't worked because...
There's a low uppercut from Knox, hooking that right leg. Nyte was able to find enough power in those legs, regardless, to kick out, but Ronnie Knox very much on top here, looking for that place in the tournament final.
This crowd firmly behind Knox. There's no accounting for taste, I suppose.
You're quite the fan suddenly of Violet Nyte, aren't you?
Well, you know, I've been blessed.
She deemed to speak to you. Only because she wanted your water, mind you.
Hydration is important, Bradshaw.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, so is that clothesline. Could be vital as Violet Nyte off of that clothesline within a half a second of booking her spot in the final. And suddenly the pendulum has very much swung here in favour of the woman who you're clearly favouring, Violet Nyte.
The pace being slowed down once again, getting in the face, frustrating. When your opponent is coming at you at speed, at pace like that, it's important to try and find a way to push back, which is what we're seeing here.
No doubt there's been a very deliberate switching of gears here from Violet Nyte as sent Knox hard into that corner, sent it with such ferocity that it knocked herself off her feet as well. Knox is really struggling to breathe on that illegal choke over the middle rope.
Well, it's only illegal if it goes to a disqualification. At this point, you're technically outside of the rules, but they're there to be bent.
Well, you think referee Danny Mox was counting to 4 because he likes it?
Yeah, well, he's just checking he got there.
Just checking he can count that high.
Unconfirmed reports suggest otherwise.
What are your sources, Mr. Professor?
Good journalist never shares their sources. Just trust me on this one.
Oh, Knox.
I know a guy.
The legs here. Catches the arms. Able to take Nyte off her feet. Great stuff from Ronnie Knox. Good for a 2 count.
And not just a kick out that sent Knox flying.
Yeah, Nyte just sense of desperation almost as she's just kicking Knox away, trying to get some distance. Going to buy herself a couple more seconds to get back into this. And it paid off because she hit the snap suplex. A swing of the hips here. Floats over onto the top, forcing those shoulders down into the mat. Knox able to get out, but Nyte will feel she's getting closer.
At the end of the day, a tournament is all about getting that 3. And if you're on the receiving end of a pinfall, it's all about the resolve you have. How can you get out of that pinning combination?
Yeah, no second chances here. It's a single elimination tournament. You're pinned, you're out. And that's why we said the stakes are so high for both of these young women. Knox trying to free herself from the clutches here of Violet Nyte. Will send her to the ropes. No, she won't. It's a reversal of the Irish whip from Nyte. Went for a big clothesline, missed it, and then a drop kick to the lower back. Puts Knox back on top.
Violet Nyte putting all of her energy into that clothesline, but that momentum sending her forward. Miscalculation.
Anyone's game here still in this semi-final of the Fallen Angel tournament. Here comes Ronnie Knox again.
Just goes to show what this tournament means to these competitors, what it means to P.E.W, the opportunities that'll come as a result of a victory.
You've got to love the intensity of Ronnie Knox. It's what's made her one of the most talked about wrestlers in the country. She holds on to that left arm there, using it to force the head and shoulders down. Once more, Nyte had to dig deep to kick out. Managed to do it though.
And keeping hold of that arm, crucially, being able to take a kick out and turn it into a submission, as we're seeing here. You've got to hand it to Ronnie Knox.
Fans are wanting a tap out. They're not going to get one. Instead, we might get a fisherman's neck breaker. Holds on, got her tied up tight. And Knox did very well, I think, to escape that one, because it looked to me like there was nowhere to go.
This is exactly what it means. It just means more when it is a semi-final. The opportunity to make it into the final, to write your name in the history books. It means more. You find resolve you didn't know you had.
Knox, the sunset flip here. To get it, got a kick out there. Did Violet Nyte.
It looks like she's going for a knee bar.
That knee bar by Ronnie Knox. With that spare leg, the right leg, you can see Nyte kicking just ferociously to free it up. And I think Knox may have hurt her elbow. And wrapping that arm up to a modified Russian leg sweep. Then hooking the head. Knox with nowhere to go here. Knox in the middle of the ring. Ronnie Knox. She may have to tap. I don't know if she can get to the rope.
Oh, it looks like she might.
Knox.
This has got to be excruciating. And that's it.
She gave up. I think she gave up.
She's tapping. She's tapping.
She's tapped.
Progressing to the final of the Fallen Angel tournament, Violet Nyte.
An unpopular result here, but an impressive one. Again, for Violet Nyte.
There can be absolutely no question. That was all Violet Nyte's skill, technical skill. In the middle of the ring, locking that submission in. It looked excruciating, and it forced Ronnie Knox to tap. She had no other option.
So Violet Nyte advancing to the finals of the Fallen Angel tournament. Alfie or Lily Winter awaiting her in that final. Those two competing, as I said, at Legacy in 16 days' time. And I'm sure Violet Nyte will be focused intently on what happens a fortnight from now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Violet Nyte will return in a few months' time to take part in the final of the Fallen Angel tournament. The next semi-final matchup will take place on our next show, which is on Sunday, September the 15th, which will be right here in Ettington Community Hall. Make sure you get your tickets for that one now. and that will see Alfie taking on Lily Winter in the other semi-final matchup to find who will face Violet Nyte in the finals of the Fallen Angel tournament. So once again, that's on September the 15th. Make sure you're there for that one. But at this time, we're going to have ourselves a mixed tag team matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing first.
The symbol of Scouse Girl Power. Welcome back to P.E.W, Harley Hudson. From your favourite city, Liverpool.
I was going to say, as Scousers go, this is one of the few that I can tolerate. An incredible talent. One the world is going to watch.
Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, fighting out of Liverpool. She is 9 stone of Scouse Girl Power. She's hot and not bothered. This is the booty of beautiful Godzilla, Harley Hudson. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome her tag team partner this evening.
And this is going to be some team, I tell you. Dan, we weren't here last month at Rude Awakening, and we missed out because from what I've heard and from what I've seen from the footage, that moment when this man, Adam Bolt, claimed the internet title, it was one of the great moments in P.E.W.
This is a title that means so much here in P.E.W, means so much to the competitors in the locker room. We were privileged enough to watch that scramble match that Oscar Prospero won, has held the title. And that win for Prospero really forced Adam Bolt to pull out all the stops to make sure he could get his hands on the title as well, really elevating P.E.W in the process. It's a Yorkshireman and a Scouser in a one tag team. I don't really know what to do with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, their opponents.
Oh, God. It's the one downside to coming to Stratford upon Avon.
I disagree. This is the reason I'm here.
I was wondering what the reason was.
That, and there's an incredibly nice cafe just by the river.
Oh, it's a good year. Really good year.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I believe that is a Chateau Poupon.
The excellent antagonist. This is
It smells like Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah. 2024 is a fantastic year for Smirnoff Ice.
I'm sure they had that in the Renaissance.
They didn't have Shakespeare in the Renaissance either, but that's fine. You'd know that if you were a professor.
Or indeed someone yet to embark on a master's degree. Oh, great. as I'm sure you've probably gathered by now at home, it's worth turning the volume down on your TV a couple of notches.
Yes, because the reception for Ivy here is huge. Everybody wants a piece of this hype.
Did you ask for his quill?
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, I was unprepared and didn't bring it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I have a quill on me.
No, and that's our mistake. That's our mistake to bear. This is a tag team for the ages.
So Ivy now a two-time women's champion. And Oscar Prospero, it gives me much more pleasure to say, is a former internet champion. Although he'll be hoping to become a two-time internet champion at Legacy a couple of weeks from now.
And of course, what do they both have in common beyond their championship credibility? They are incredible wordsmiths, masters of the English language.
Well, Ivy is.
Yep, she knows a great many words and is unafraid to use them.
Oh, hang on. Don't do it, Mike. Don't give her the microphone. Oh my goodness. Things getting out of hand. Let's see how much of a wordsmith she is. Why does she need a mic? She already brought a megaphone.
After all night, it's a Friday. I'm allowed to stay out till late, so carry on. Who on earth has agreed to marry you?
It's a question we've all been asking.
Because my servant, Oscar Prospero, have prepared an opera for all of you.
I cannot believe it. This is absolutely fantastic.
Turn the mic off. Just turn it off.
No, what an opera of. We are in the birthplace of Shakespeare himself, and we are about to receive a piece of new theatre.
Leave.
Sit down and watch. You've got front row seats to the Ivy and Prospero opera.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Daniel, you can sit there. Let me sit down. Sit down!
Have you ordered your interval drinks?
Just listen. Everyone, sit down, Daniel.
Lovely.
I need a pay rise.
I'll take a cut for this. The bravery of that performance, the vulnerability she's just showcased to us tonight. I mean, absolutely applaud. Absolutely. That is how that was meant to be heard.
I'm very seldom rendered speechless.
So let's not ruin it.
Ref, Danny, is that not an automatic disqualification?
I think it was an assault on our ears. It might actually be a crime.
I'll tell you what is a crime. That we only got to hear the first part. I would imagine this is a 5-act piece.
I think they were trying to play a bit of rock, paper, scissors there with Harley Hudson and Adam Bolt.
We've got to ask a question. If they can't even get themselves together for a game of rock, paper, scissors, how are they going to take on the women's champion and the former and soon-to-be again internet champion?
Well, let's find out exactly what Oscar Prospero is made of when he's in there against Hudzilla. I think there's our answer. Yeah, the crowd are enjoying this more than they're enjoying the opera.
I find that quite offensive.
She's a soprano.
I actually wouldn't be ashamed to see it one more time. I think that'd be quite nice. We'd all be treated.
Thank God we didn't hear it one more time. I think she's going to kick him right in the voice box. Hudson had her leg swept away.
Absolute arrogance of this. That is a former internet champion right there. 57 days he held that title.
Emphasis on the word former. And that sort of reason is why. Missed elbow drop, and then he couldn't get the kick either. Hudson's got the left leg here of Oscar Prospero.
I will say, having performed on the stage many times myself, after you have given your all to a character, it can take it out of you a little bit.
Hold on.
This, however...
Wait. Hold that thought, Dan. Let's see. Our former champion here. Wait a minute. 1.5.
How many can you do?
I'm not a wrestler.
That's actually fair.
Shoulders go down. Prospero kicking out on 2. As I was saying, Prospero will get a chance to win back that internet title at Legacy in 16 days from now. It's going to be part of a 3-way match. Prospero, Adam Bolt, of course, and Franco Fate for the internet title.
Looks like Harley Hudson's about to start taking this seriously, and if I may say, it's about time.
Just want to see Adam? Yeah! Just want to see Adam?
Of course we do. We want to see the internet champion, and here he comes. He does make it look good.
I can't argue with that.
Prospero, a swing and a miss, and again. Shoved to the ropes is Prospero. Bolt follows him there. And a Hurricane Rana takedown.
The pace on Adam Bolt.
The drop kick, the nip up. Blink and you'll miss it stuff from Adam Bolt. Prospero has him up. Great agility from Bolt, lands on his feet. And a second time. And then the step up Enziguri sends Prospero back into the corner where the women's champion will tag in. Champion versus champion here. Hold on. Bolt was looking, or rather Ivy was looking to hit Bolt. Bolt, when he tried the same, found that Ivy wanted to do a runner. This is our women's champion who's running away.
Is it running away, or is it finding the most economic way to get herself a tag, which has been successful? We can now see Oscar Prospero's in the ring. Adam Bolt not paying attention. Strategy, Dave Bradshaw. Strategy from our women's champion.
Yeah, I bet she's as good at chess as she is at opera. Prospero bringing Adam Bolt back into the corner where Ivy now will tag back in.
Ivy in full control.
Fans here in Ettington trying to get our internet champion back into this. There's a row up from Bolt. Shoulders went down for Ivy for 2, and then Ivy fires back with a clothesline.
She may be abrasive to some, but there is a reason she has that women's championship over her shoulder.
Here comes the pin from Ivy for 2. Harley Hudson trying to get the fans to give Adam Bolt the energy he needs to get through this onslaught from Ivy and Prospero.
Looks to me like Adam Bolt needs to find a way to tag Hudson in.
Illegal choke in the corner. Now Ivy continuing with the referee's back turn. Harley Hudson trying to come in to help her partner.
Which is not within the rules. She can't get in the ring. She needs to step out.
Turn around, ref. Turn around and look at what's going on.
Ref should turn around. Ref, turn around indeed.
Thankfully, a 1 count and a kick out. Yeah, strange how you suddenly wanted him to turn around.
I care deeply about the rules. Harley Hudson needed to step out onto the apron so that the ref could get back to the task at hand, which was counting the pinfall.
How do you feel about Prospero and Ivy's interpretation of the rules?
There is a moment after a tag where you have 5 seconds to get out of the ring. They were using that 5 seconds to their advantage. That is what champions do.
Hold on, Ivy's looking for the Boston Crab here. Bolt knows he can't get himself caught in that. Trying to crawl towards the corner. Hudson waiting for the tag. Ivy again trying to turn him over. Bolt able to kick Ivy away. This might be the chance he needs. Yes, it is. Here comes Hudson. Clothesline from Hudson. And a second one. Ivy goes down.
Hudson's been watching from the sidelines for a long time. She's been waiting for this moment.
Harley Hudson has Ivy down in the corner. And Harley Hudson taking the fight here to Ivy. Hudson's going to come again. And Ivy getting a cage rattled here by Hudson. Hudson kicked right into the path of the waiting Oscar Prospero. It's not legal. There's a left, right. Good night. Hudson talking some trash to Prospero. Able to get the better of Ivy as well. Hudson with the pin, and Prospero pulls the referee out.
He had something on his shoe, Dave. Prospero, ever conscientious, looking out for our referee here tonight.
Meanwhile, inside the ring, Ivy pulling Harley Hudson back into the center of the ring. Trying for the Boston Crab on her now, able to turn her over. And Ivy sitting down on that Boston Crab. Look at the taunt on the lower back of Harley Hudson.
That is a lot of pressure on the lower back.
Hudson kicks Ivy away and makes the tag to Bolt. Bolt and Prospero now. Bolt first to the elbow. And a second time. Bolt with Prospero on his shoulders, a rolling Death Valley driver. And a kick right into the face of the so-called Bard. Ivy sent flying. Bolt onto the apron. Springboard, clothesline.
There's that agility you were talking about earlier on, Dave, going for the cover.
Here comes the pin from Bolt, and the kick out from Prospero keeps this tag team match alive.
It's one of the things that makes Adam Bolt one of the most exciting wrestlers in this country. His speed, his ring awareness, and his strength there.
And moves like that as he goes for the pin, and Ivy had to break it up. I don't think Prospero was kicking out.
Ooh.
Yeah, Hudson getting involved now. Referee is losing control of this in terms of should be one person for each team in the ring at a time.
I think they heard that one at the RSC.
At opposite corners of the ring. Mirror images across the ring. Raining down. 10 strikes to each of them, and Prospero looking a little unstable. And Hudson helping him on the way down.
Oh no.
Oh, Ivy looking wobbly as well.
Oh, she needs to maintain. Oh!
And that was unfortunate.
To say the least. I think he's definitely a soprano now if he wasn't before.
Look at the top rope though. Prospero worried about his future chances of, well, you know what. Gets dropping Adam Bolt on his face. Prospero
of winning, you mean?
Will go for the pin. Kick out from Bolt. And Prospero.
I don't think Adam Bolt accounted for that. That counter.
Bolt was looking for the absolute stunner. As you say, Prospero able to counter. And now the tag back to Harley Hudson from Bolt. Clothesline from Prospero.
Prospero digging down deep, trying to find that tower of strength he's known for.
Well, Ivy's got the megaphone here. Ivy with the megaphone. Referee is looking at this. This will be a disqualification. Oh, nearly a collision between partners. Bolt off the top. Absolute stunner on Prospero. And now the roll up from Hudson. Roll up on Hudson on Ivy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the team of Harley Hudson and Harley Hudson.
Oh, well.
Are we still going to get the rest of the opera?
I think the final curtain has fallen on tonight's opera performance, courtesy of Harley Hudson and Adam Bolt. And if she wasn't already considered a top contender for the Women's Championship, surely Hudson is now just getting a pinfall win over Ivy.
Certainly adding her name to the long list of challengers for that belt. That is cruel. That is cruel from Mike Angus.
See, Mike Angus has some pipes on him. I'd listen to that.
There's no accounting for taste.
So Hudson with a massive win. Adam Bolt, as we know, heading to Legacy, where he'll face Prospero again, this time in a three-way match with Franco Fade involved as well. Big, big victory on this Friday night in Ettington for Hudzilla and the man who makes it look good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be down this P.E.W Internet Championship title defense on the 15th of September. Looking forward to that one. And also, Adam and Harley will be back out during the interval for intermission photographs in the ring. If you are a member of the P.E.W Patreon, you'll be able to get your photograph taken for free. And also, if you're not and want to get a photograph with those two amazing stars who are definitely going to be seen all around the world in the next few years, wrestling all over the world, a photograph is just, where's Logan, my little helper? How much are the photographs in the intermission? There you go, ladies and gentlemen, here first, £3.50 for photographs during the intermission with Harley Hudson and Adam Bolt. Oh no, she's left that in the ring, crikey. If anyone wants to take it, I'm sure it'd be better than they get it back. Oh, Danny wants it. Hey, Dan, make good use of it, sir. What have you got to say? This is your big moment, Dan.
Thanks, Mike.
Great stuff, excellent. Now at this time, somebody has asked to come out here and speak to you all, and I do not know if you're going to be very happy about this, because, ladies and gentlemen, the owner has demanded time to speak to the audience this evening. So at this time, please let me introduce to you the Prestige.
An unwelcome addition to our schedule. Dan, I know you haven't been around P.E.W for quite as long as I have, so you've probably seen only the positive side of the Prestige. The man kissing babies, shaking hands, the promoter, the owner. There has always, though, been this other side, this Mr. Hyde, if you will, to the Prestige's Dr. Jekyll, and arrogance to the owner of Phenomenal Elite Wrestling.
I can't speak to that. I can only speak to my experiences with the Prestige, and as you've seen there, is a very conscientious man, someone giving me a great opportunity to be here as part of this P.E.W faithful. And I'm sure whatever he has to say, we're going to find incredibly illuminating.
Well, the main thing I want to know is why he prevented Jason Joshua from becoming the P.E.W World Champion last month. He has a lot of explaining to do.
Who's your daddy, P.E.W?
Why is he wearing sunglasses indoors?
These lights are bright.
Why did I turn my back on you? Why did I turn my back on Jason Joshua? It was you guys that turned your back on me. Who was it that dragged me to this ring, demanding an account of free? Jason Joshua. And the thing is, Jason Joshua, you just couldn't stay in the ring, could you? You couldn't stay in the lane. I don't want you as a P.E.W champion. I mean, really, do you guys want that? Do you guys want Jason Joshua as your PEW champion? You see, Ronnie Nova is someone. Ronnie Nova is someone that I see proudly representing PEW. Ronnie Nova is phenomenal. Ronnie Nova is elite. Ronnie Nova is wrestling. You look at what Ronnie Nova shares on his social media. It's inspirational. What does Jason Joshua share on his social media? I'm not feeling myself today. I'm feeling a bit anxious. The traffic's bad on a Friday. You think that's someone I want as the PEW World Champion? No. I feel like it's my duty to tell you what's going to happen next month at PEW Legacy. Yes, it's going to be a great match. It's going to be the main event. Jason Joshua, his music's going to hit. Woo, I'm a unicorn. Woo, he'll run out here looking like he's been shot out by the dinosaur's anus and run around giving you all high fives, and he'll come in this ring. But it's my duty to tell you that Jason Joshua will not be world champion. Absolutely. Jason Joshua is not going to be PEW World Champion. Jason Joshua is not going to be celebrating in this ring. Dave Bradshaw on commentary is not going to be reaching a point of orgasm. No.
Sorry, Dave.
Jason Joshua is going to walk to this ring and see the obstacle in front of him and realise he's not in Ronnie Nova's league. And it'll be 1, 2, 3. And Jason Joshua, he'll have a good career, but it'll be over. He's gone. He's gone. And now I get a front row seat. I get to see Jason Joshua take on Alton Thorne. And the truth is, he might not even make it now to Legacy by the time this match is over. And in 20 years' time, Jason Joshua will be ringing me on the phone. I'll be like, who the hell is this? They'll be like, oh, it's Jason Joshua. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, to wrestle Ronnie that time. And you're right, he was better than me all along. And I'll look at Jason Joshua, and I'll say, what can I say? Accept your welcome. Good luck with your match.
Did you get your answer, Dave?
I don't know what we learned there, other than that in his twisted mind, the Prestige believes Jason Joshua is not world champion material, and that seems to be the only reason he did what he did last month.
Please put your hands together for the Prestige.
A world champion represents your company, and when you are trying to build that company, you need your world champion to be someone who you can put your faith and trust in. That's what he said to me.
It's Solar Slam now, ladies and gentlemen, and we do have a big match coming up for you now. I will just warn you that one of the contestants in this matchup is someone I'm very familiar with from TNT Extreme Wrestling up in Liverpool, and also Kumite. He is one of the most dangerous competitors in the United Kingdom and possibly in Europe. So please make sure you stay in your seats for this one, because it could be extremely violent. Please look after yourselves up there. If the action does spill to the outside, do stay in your seats. As this next matchup is a no-holds-barred match. Introducing first.
I don't have a lot of time for our PEW World Champion Riley Nova, but you've got to say, this is a smart pick. Just a little more than 2 weeks out from Legacy, he got the chance to pick Jason Joshua's opponent tonight, and he's picked one of the most dangerous men in the country.
I mean, that's exactly the kind of strategy, the kind of thought process you have to go through when you are picking an opponent for someone who you will be facing in just 2 short weeks. someone who's going to be able to pick that opponent apart, weaken them, someone who knows that opponent very well.
If you are Jason Joshua here, the goal, I think, is simply to survive and to get out of the Ettington Community Centre tonight relatively unscathed, if that's possible.
It's certainly not a guarantee.
The hardcore specialist, the King Freak, Thorne.
Yeah, hired gun indeed. With the approval of the Prestige, not just Riley Nova, as we just heard there.
You have to wonder whether or not the Prestige was able to pull some strings on behalf of Riley.
I bet the Prestige was prepared to pay a pretty high price for Thorne to come in here and be that hired gun tonight. Something of an insurance policy for the Prestige as he tries to prevent this man from becoming the world champion in September. You know, it's funny as well because all of the things the Prestige says that don't make Jason Joshua championship material, I think are exactly what makes him champion material. The kind of guy, yes, he does have good days and bad days. We all do. We can relate to Jason Joshua, and that is the kind of person we want as our P.E.W World Champion.
And Dave, look, I can't disagree that is clearly why this crowd loves him, but the reality of the situation is if you want to be champion, good days, bad days, it's how you push through them. And the question the Prestige has, the question I have, is whether or not Jason Joshua can do that.
And let's be real here as well. Jason Joshua shouldn't even be having to jump over any hurdles to become world champion. He should already be world champion, and he would be if it wasn't for the Prestige. Sorry, makes me angry.
I can sense that. I can appreciate that.
Well, here comes Joshua. Joshua doing the best thing he can do. Best form of defense is offense here. Remember, Joshua has chosen Riley Nova's opponent tonight as well, choosing his former partner in the entitled, Martin Kirby. That's our main event later.
And that's part of the psychological seasoning, if you will, of a picky poison match.
Joshua bringing the rope down and Thorne to the outside.
Look, there's no question as well, Dave, that Jason Joshua is an athlete of the caliber to be able to be a world champion, but it does take more than athleticism to reach the top of the mountain.
That was some undeliberate athleticism, I guess, from Elton Thorne. Clothesline over the top.
Gymnastics,
to the outside.
Paralympics run at the moment.
Oh my God, what was that? What was that? It was a baking tray. Where did that come from?
Well,
remember, it's all legal. A no-holds-barred match here, no disqualification.
there is actually a very good cook shop in Stratford. I assume that's where it came from, Dave. Anything goes. Anything we will likely see.
And now look, choking Joshua with his own entrance gear. Referee can't do anything about it. He can't count to 5, can't threaten to disqualify Elton Thorne.
These two have a history of battering each other. We might want to get out of dodge here a second, Dave. Probably move my phone.
We're getting more of a
anything goes. I don't want to do that.
Wanted.
Quite.
You okay, Jason?
Absolutely clattered off this table in front of us. Almost bent in half.
And they are right in front of us here. And Jason Joshua, I just got to look at him. He's looking glassy-eyed here.
Yeah, I'm staying on my feet, Dave. I don't want to be able to get out of dodge if I have to. This is a man who terrifies me. Okay.
This can go anywhere around the building, go anywhere around Stratford, quite honestly.
I mean, it could. It could.
Now look.
Not one, but two steel chairs in the hand of Thorne.
Much like the baking tray, much like using Joshua's suit, it's all as legal as a wrist lock. Thorne tossed that first chair in. I don't think he realises that Joshua has it. They both hit each other with the steel chairs. Joshua drops his and it hits him at the enziguri. Thorne in the corner. Joshua trying with all his might to survive this onslaught from Alton Thorne, putting that chair in position. What's he thinking here?
I don't like the look of this, Dave.
Thorne punching that chair, and the chair going into the face of Jason Joshua, who collapses down to the canvas.
Thorne showing absolutely no fear, willing to put himself in a great deal of pain to cause more pain to his opponent. And I was talking before about the mindset you need to be in to be a champion.
Wait, hold on. Don't do that. Don't do that. The chair across the back from Thorne.
There are two chairs in the ring right now, both brought into the ring by Thorne, who's going for the cover.
The pin and a kick out from Joshua.
Baking tray, our table. Thorne is the one willing to use these. I just don't know whether or not Jason Joshua has the mental fortitude to go to that place.
Well, meanwhile, look, the Prestige just pacing around the ringside area like he owns the place.
I mean, he kind of does own the place. This is sort of his prerogative. I don't like the look of this.
Oh my God, a body slam onto the steel chair. The Prestige is cheering this.
That is a hard body slam at the best of times. It looks like we might be getting ourselves a unicorn sandwich.
What is wrong with you? Not you, sorry.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad question for me either, in fairness.
No. Again, referee cannot count to 5 here, cannot insist on a break. Yeah, because as Alton Thorne just said, he can do this all day. He can extend this, he can prolong this beating for as long as he wants.
When Jason Joshua walked down from the back into this ring, he knew exactly what he was walking into. He knew these were the rules. He should have been more prepared, or he wouldn't be in the position to be smacked with steel chairs and baking trays left, right, and center. This is what I'm saying. Does he have the strength?
Look at the disrespect.
There's no need for disrespect. It's no DQ.
Thorne, wait a second. Joshua's got him. Joshua sends Thorne into the chair.
That chair absolutely bent in half. And
got a kick out on one. A kick out on one.
You've got to believe that was just adrenaline. Adrenaline and fury. I mean, look at the way that chair is bent. There are bits of it sticking out. They could impale you at any moment.
Well, the only thing that was looking more broken than that chair was the look on Jason Joshua's face, a look of disbelief. Now, though, he's found a chain. Wrapping a steel chain around his fist is Joshua. Thorne standing on his hand.
A chain digging into his hand.
Man.
He might be thinking twice about bringing that in. Not only is he not able to use that hand, that chain is now in the hands of Thorne.
Right hand from Thorne with that chain wrapped around his fist. And I think you're right. Joshua's going to regret bringing that chain into the ring in the first place. And this is exactly what we feared. With just days to recover from whatever damage Thorne does here, Jason Joshua's chances of becoming world champion are ebbing away with every bit of damage that Thorne does to him.
Thorne showing no mercy, no willingness to let up. It's almost like that landing on that chair's made him angrier.
Yeah, he thrives on that pain.
Look at him.
The only thing he likes more than receiving it is dishing it out, does Thorne. He's a sick human being, and Jason Joshua finding that out the hard way.
Back to the outside. And there are no protective mats here on this floor.
Well, Thorne, you could hear what he said to the crowd there. And now he's going to, as he said, continue this assault on Jason Joshua. right in front of the P.E.W fans. Oh, he missed him! Missed him! Ooh. He may have broken his hand!
The sound of steel on steel there. Might be needing a bit more steel inside of... Oh, my goodness me.
Body slam on the hard floor. Jason Joshua still has some fight in him.
And as I said, there are no mats out here on the floor. There's nothing between. That is just back and wood.
Big Daddy Unicorn, we've seen him overcome the odds here in P.E.W many times before. Briefly, of course, a world champion, former internet champion, headed for another world title shot. And he's going for the win here. Right shoulder comes up from Thorne. Joshua can't be disheartened, though. This is the best spell of the match now for Jason Joshua.
In many ways, this match needs to be finished in the middle of the ring, because that breather, weirdly enough, might have been what it needed for Thorne to be able to get a kick out there. Oh!
Speaking of kicks, there's one to the head from Jason Joshua. And look where Thorne has landed. You can see the cogs turning in the mind of the #1 contender for the P.E.W World Champion, who brings his weight down on the chair, down on Thorne. Joshua drags Thorne away from the ropes, goes for the side press, and a kick out anyway from Thorne, who is proving just how difficult he is to beat.
I mean, the prestige there, I saw his head in his hands. Big sigh of relief at that kick out.
Joshua calling for the stomp. I think he wants to maybe stomp Thorne's head into that chair, but hang on, he got caught. Side slam from Thorne, and the spine of Jason Joshua landed on the steel. The cover from Thorne. Thorne to pick up the win in this no-holds-barred match, but Jason Joshua kicking out. I don't know if that's good news or bad news, if you're Jason Joshua, again, as much as he wants to beat Ultim Thorne tonight, the priority, surely, is to preserve yourself as much as you can for that match with Riley Nova.
I mean, you're not wrong. With every single move he takes, the one he's on the receiving end of, every single weapon he is hit with, that's even more recovery time he's going to need. And he does not have that much before we get to Legacy. It's almost like... maybe take a back seat. Maybe just take the L here and save yourself. Do you want to be champion or not?
I think that looks like a portable table. A folding table, I think, is what Thorne has found under the ring.
It doesn't look good, whatever it is.
He's going to bring that down across the back of Joshua.
I mean, wrestling fans are known for liking a bit of violence, but this is something else entirely. You're right, Dave, it is a folding table.
Thorne now is trying to set up that table, and his use of it as a weapon may not be over here.
Shut your mouth!
Got the point of that chair right into the thoracic part of the spinal column.
Oh, he did go to school. Joshua starting to stir there.
Yeah, well, Thorne may have made a mistake because he left that chair on top of Joshua. Essentially, has left the chair in Joshua's possession.
One man with a table, another with a chair.
And Thorne grabbing hold of Joshua. Joshua no longer with that chair. And it looks like Thorne's going to get his way anyway. What are his plans here? That table set up right in the middle of the ring. What is he doing? What is going through this sick man's mind? He's going to choke slam him. Joshua fighting back, thank God.
Joshua needs to do everything he can to avoid this, because you've got to believe if he ends up finding his way somehow through that table, that is curtains, maybe even for his ability to enter the match at Legacy.
The headbutt from Joshua. Suddenly, Thorne might be the one regretting what he's brought into the ring, because Jason Joshua is going to get Thorne up for a superplex through the table.
That table is in pieces in the middle of the ring. There is wood everywhere.
The stomp from Joshua. Thorne is out. He's dead weight. Joshua rolls him over. Jason Joshua is heading to legacy.
I have never seen anything like that from Joshua in this building.
Yeah, but here comes the big question. Joshua, once the adrenaline stops flowing, when he wakes up in his bed tomorrow morning, what will the extent of the damage be? How badly hurt is Jason Joshua with just 2 weeks and 2 days to recover before the biggest match of his career?
And it might not be done. It might not be done, Dave.
What's he doing here?
Joshua needs to get out of dodge. He needs to get out of the ring. He's got his win.
Joshua throwing that chair at Thorne. Thorne is a loose cannon.
We were talking before the match about the mental strength of Jason Joshua. He's just shown us he has the grit, he has the determination to power through a match with a monster like Thorne. Maybe he can. Maybe he can become the world champion.
Joshua's throwing some of the debris at the Prestige. The Prestige might not like it, but in a little more than 2 weeks' time, that man who he's staring at in the middle of the ring might be his world champion. Jason Joshua on the warpath as he heads to legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're here on September 15th for a big night for Big Daddy Unicorn. Make sure you know this book again, once again. Go with it.
I have it on very good authority that Mike Angus is wearing his Mad Dog socks tonight.
That is a huge scoop for which you should be proud. But I'm also posting to my Instagram right now, so if you could respect that.
Wonderful sweets and treats over at the stand across there. How's everybody getting on? You quiet out there this evening? What's going on? It's not like you ETTINGTON to make some noise for this second half. I've even bought me Mad Dog socks for you tonight. Who wants to see the Mad Dog socks?
Told you.
There you go. And I have now posted, so I'm back in the room. Thank you for respecting my boundaries.
Mad Dog socks, there you go, special one just for you. Be on the match, the next show. Go on. Sparkly shoes as well, they are game. Don't want you missing out. Mad Dog socks. Mad Dogs on, gang, I don't let you down.
They're actually knitted by a rabid dog.
Ah, right. That's no way to speak about Ivy.
I'll let you know as well that Adam Bolt will be defending his P.E.W Internet Championship at the next show on the 15th of September in a triple threat match, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you get your tickets for that. His first defense, the P.E.W Internet Championship, will be taking place on the 15th of September. Let's hope he can keep hold of it. But at this time, we're going to start the second half with a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first.
He is a former internet champion and one of the most popular competitors in all of phenomenal elite wrestling. But he is a man who has had more than his share of problems with the leader of the cause.
One of those problems, of course, being the loss of a championship.
This is going to be a hell of a match. Two of P.E.W's finest.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Marks there in the house. What are we doing, Mike? The most worrying thing I've seen all night, ladies and gentlemen. And introducing his opponent.
The leader of the cause, and in 16 days' time, this man, H-Hood, leads his team into battle at Legacy against Team Rollins, CJ Rollins, Steve Valentino, Martin Kirby, and the returning former P.E.W World Champion, Jack Selstrom. What a match that is going to be at Legacy. But first, Hood has to get past Smashing Mike. Why don't you keep your attention on Smashing Mike? The I Am Phenomenal trophy that H-Hood won a few months back.
Yeah.
And of course, not the only silverware currently in the cause. Because last month, the cause, on that night, the combination of H-Hood and Leiden defeating Smashing Mike and Martin Kirby to become P.E.W Tag Team Champions. Since then, H-Hood has invoked what he calls the Three Birds rule.
Yeah, that's correct.
An age-old rule in wrestling, which I didn't know we were applying here in P.E.W, but apparently we are, which means that
are a company that follows the rules of wrestling, as we have
we'll just make them up as we go along, but depending on what mood the Prestige is in. But as it happens, he's going to allow that, so it means that any two members of the cause can defend those newly won tag team titles. That's why H-Hood is in singles action tonight. And Ilano, Stone and Leiden are going to defend the tag titles in our next match.
And what a position of trust that puts in Stone and Leiden. H-Hood is the reason for the cause. The entire reason for being.
That part is certainly true, yeah.
Is to boost and lift up these young talents by presenting them with the opportunity to defend this championship and freeing himself up to once again prove his worth against Smashing Mike.
What a selfless, heroic man. We all know what the cause is for. The cause is to advance H-Hood's career at the expense of three gullible young wrestlers.
What did you say moments ago about them walking out here holding aloft the P.E.W Tag Team Championships? How is that in any way possible? Sending them down.
Who's benefited most?
They all have.
From the cause.
Rising tides lift all ships, or whatever the phrase is. I read it somewhere once.
Hood has certainly done well from being the leader of the cause, winning those tag titles, winning the I Am Phenomenal trophy. In fact, since he returned from a long-term injury a few months ago, he's been battling to, well, first of all, to convince Leiden to join him, and then the numbers have swollen. We've seen Ilano, Stone and Fordy.
And should that not tell you everything you need to know about the cause? About the meaning, about the belief it instills in people that so many want to join the cause.
Sounds like you want to join the cause.
I have several memberships elsewhere at the moment. My time is split. But, you know, it's an
You haven't been
opportunity.
invited, have you?
That is a conversation between myself and H. Hood that I'm not privileged to discuss right now.
As if you've ever had a conversation with H. Hood, you're too scared. But I'll tell you what, someone who has interacted with H. Hood a lot in the past is Smashing Mike. Hood was the first ever internet champion. Smashing Mike beat him to become the second internet champion. That's Fineman's carry takeover from Hood. And these two found themselves the last two in the golden ticket rumble as well. Their paths have crossed time and time again in the still relatively young history of P.E.W.
And you've got to believe that Smashing Mike has a chip on his shoulder, having won and lost the championships. Got a point to prove. Wants to prove that at the expense of H. Hood might not be so lucky tonight.
At the moment, it is Smashing Mike as this rivalry is rekindled here. That's on top of the leader of the cause. And I said earlier about how H. Hood, I'm sure, putting pressure on the younger members of his group to win their matches. Well, Fordy did win his match earlier, so if Hood were not to win as the leader of the group, that would be something of an embarrassment, wouldn't it?
It certainly would be a knock to the plans of the cause here this evening. Embarrassment is maybe too strong a word. It's all about learning. You know, lead by example. Wanting to win is what H. Hood is all about, and he's showing us that it is a bit tricky to do that with an opponent of the caliber of Smashing Mike, but by taking a step out of the ring here, recalibrate.
Smashing Mike having some fun. I'm not sure if H. Hood knows what fun is.
Sometimes you can have too much fun. For all the dancing, all of the showboating that Smashing Mike is doing, he could be taking it to H. Hood as we speak. Instead, he's allowing his opponent to recover. This is why he's no longer champion. I'm just going to say it.
Wow.
And this is what happens. Being a champion, being a trophy winner, takes a certain mentality.
Yeah, H. Hood has the Iron Phenomenal Trophy, but he's not a singles champion here. He's won the tag titles recently. And I'm sure, by the way, given that was at the expense of Smashing Mike, that Mike, with even more motivation to win this latest chapter of these two men's feud. Here's a big back body drop from the Smashing One.
Take nothing away from Smashing Mike, who is a fantastic competitor, but sometimes he leans far too much into trying to entertain the people and not enough on doing things like this. I mean, look at his athleticism. He should lean into this far more.
There's a delayed vertical suplex, the blood rushing to the head of H. Hood, and Mike finally dropping him down hard on his back.
Have you ever stood up too quick, Dave Bradshaw? That tingling feeling you feel all over. That's what H. Hood is experiencing right now. All the blood rushing to his head.
Oh, you've been the victim of a delayed vertical suplex, have you?
I have seen many.
Tough life being a professor. Going for the game over here is Smashing Mike. And Mike, in the end, into some smarts and some quick thinking there from H. Hood. It was Smashing Mike who went face first into the middle turnbuckle.
Using his own momentum against him, and now the tide is starting to turn. His head whiplashing off the second turnbuckle there.
Hood putting in a boot in here. And one thing you do have to say about H. Hood, whatever we might think of his motivation as the leader of the cause, one of his real great strengths is this just pure, unadulterated aggression that we see from Hood.
It's an aggression he's trying to pass on to his students, to his underlings.
Yeah, God, suplex that one. I'm sure he does see them as underlings. As H. Hood looking to lead from the front. Mike was just able to just roll over on that left shoulder.
It wasn't a particularly convincing kick out, was it?
Well, I think Hood didn't quite have those shoulders fully down in the first place, and Mike, meanwhile, getting into the ropes, now going to try and send him to the ropes. Hood reverses the whip, puts his head down. Mike's going to look for the sunset flip. He'll get him. Shoulders go down for Hood, and Hood kicks out on 2.5. Now Smashing Mike again with a side headlock. Hood this time does send him to the ropes. Clothesline from Hood with authority, and that will stop any kind of momentum that Smashing Mike had built up.
Throwing all his energy behind that clothesline, nearly taking him out of his boots.
Hood with a
And just like that, sorry to cut you off, Dave, but I just want to say just like that, Smashing Mike on the ground, all momentum gone.
the thing I was paying attention to there was the evil smirk on the face of H. Hood. The only time you ever see him smile, when he is dishing out pain to an opponent who he sees as lesser than himself, which is about any opponent. Hood now to the ropes. Strike right between the shoulder blades. Hood will try and convert that into a victory. He had the leg hooked. They got another 2.5, but not a 3. Hood not liking the Smashing Mike chant that is resonating around the Ettington Community Centre. Big Friday night of wrestling action here.
H. Hood not looking to make friends with this particular audience, using their animosity to spur him on.
When is he ever? When is he ever trying to make friends?
How many times do I have to say the cause? 4 men looking out for each other.
You already said they're his underlings. Underlings aren't friends.
He's trying to bring them up to the, what's the word, sideways lings.
Well, hold on. Smashing Mike, I think, is that enough?
I think things are about to get serious.
After you went into that turnbuckle, the facial expression of Smashing Mike changing entirely. Mike, the right hand, he's thinking about it, and he does it! I thought he was having second thoughts, I was disappointed. Superman
Nothing to
punch.
be disappointed now.
Smashing Mike. Gonna pick up Hood. Slams him down hard, the whole ring shook.
Oh, building shook.
Mike again lines him up. Clothesline in the corner. He'll come back for more. Second time, Mike looking to complete the hat trick. But the elbow went up from H. Hood.
Cut him off at the pass. Take back control. Exert your dominance, H. Hood looking to do that, but Smashing Mike's speed.
Look at the speed of Smashing Mike. Mike with a shoulder block, the pounce. Taking H. Hood out of his boots.
I mean, that's one way to get around your opponent. If your opponent's trying to take you out with a clothesline, move so fast that they can't see you. Hard DDT.
DDT delivered with authority by Smashing Mike. Hood gets the shoulder up again. Now you're looking at 2 men who know each other so well. They've each taken championships off of each other here in P.E.W before, and both of them wanting to pick up the win. Mike's going to try and do it with the game over. Hood found another way out. He's done his homework as H. Hood. On the rebound, the lariat from Smashing Mike.
But crucially not going for a cover, wasting precious time. That could have been it.
I think he knows. He knows he hasn't done enough. H. Hood, a very difficult foe to keep down.
Both elbows exposed now.
Yeah, there's
Smashing Mike feeling it.
One move in Smashing Mike's arsenal that he knows can finish the job. That full Nelson slam, the game over. Hood again trying to escape it. What's he doing here? Hood dragging Mike to the corner. Hood's got his feet on the rope. Get his feet on the ropes. Come on. Referee.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, H. Hood.
What on earth?
We have a difficult vantage point here. I can't say I saw that. I absolutely did see H. Hood get the cover there.
Difficult vantage point. That's weird because I've got the same vantage point as you and
You're
I saw the whole thing.
Slightly over to the right, in fairness. The thing about being in the ring, if you're close to the ropes, you know, sometimes things like that do happen, but clearly the ref didn't see anything. That is a pinfall. H. Hood leaves here victorious. That's 2 members of the cause victorious. Clearly, the cause is working.
Well, can the cause get a clean sweep tonight at Solar Slam? Tag team titles are on the line next as H. Hood gloating over what is becoming an increasingly good night for him, and as he called them, and you, his underlings.
Unfortunate on this occasion, I believe, Smashing Mike. H. Hood picking up the win for the cause there. Yeah, Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we're going to have ourselves a tag team championship match. Let's hear it. The referee, Danny Marks, back in the ring, and then we'll bring them out, ladies and gentlemen, our first team.
I was about to say,
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first the P.E.W Tag Team Champions, the team of Leiden and the Royal Stone,
the cause of God.
I'm champion, Dave.
Certainly is.
Leiden, one half of the tag team champion.
Note that no one ever comes for me. Note that everybody has their aggression on Dave Bradshaw, and everyone seems to be perfectly happy with my work. Maybe something to think about.
Thanks for jumping to my defense there.
You seemed like you had it.
Well, I was going to call them the tag team champions anyway, because that is, unfortunately, a fact. Although in Alano Stone's case, he didn't actually win the titles.
You are a wrestling scholar, Dave Bradshaw. Do you need me
you.
to walk you through the Freebird rule? Is it something that you can't quite get your head around?
Well,
and ladies and gentlemen, the challengers.
we'll talk about it if this match goes on, I'm sure, but it is dubious whether that rule should be allowed here. Or ever. Still, no opponents coming out here, and I hope that H-Hood and Fordy haven't ambushed the challengers for the tag team titles, because we still don't have any sign of either Fordy or the Invisible, not Fordy, Vegan Prescott, or the Invisible Man.
Dave, they're right there. They're in front of us right now. They're high-fiving the people on the front row. They're walking around. We do this every single time, Dave. There's only so many times like, oh great, now they're coming over here. Oh, you're fantastic.
Hey, Porcus.
How do you think it arrived? It came
I don't know,
because the man holding him
I've been told that they're going to be accompanied by Porcus, who has mysteriously appeared on the commentary desk.
it was placed on the commentary desk by the man in front of my own eyes.
Oh, God!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the team of Vegan Prescott and the Invisible Man.
Made me jump.
I am soon to undertake a very prestigious master's degree. Don't insult my intelligence like this.
When you go on your master's degree, can Porcus be my co-commentator instead?
Someone of your intelligence, I see. You want to bring it down to your
Yes, you're
level.
right, it would be an upgrade. So Vegan Prescott and the Invisible Man, thankfully, are here, and they look to be in fine form as we head to this P.E.W Tag Team Championship match. And again, courtesy of the quote-unquote Freebird rule, a rule set in place in the 1980s by a team called the Fabulous Freebirds,
Quite.
establishing that in a group, a faction like the Cause, any two members of their group can defend the titles regardless of who won those titles.
And a crucial part of that rule is that those members have to be part of the team when the championships are won. Stone was very much part of the team. This is a well-established cause. The point, as I was saying earlier on, is for these people to be lifted together. So why not exercise a time-honored rule in the wrestling industry and allow them to defend the belts as a unit? I think as far as I'm concerned, this is genius from the Cause, smart, and really says everything we need to know about them as a team.
Yeah, imagine my surprise that you endorse it. Yeah. Vegan Prescott going to take the fight here to Leiden, and it's been a pretty hellacious couple of months here for Vegan Prescott ever since Fordy turned against him. Fordy defeating him last month at Rude Awakening in a vegan street fight.
Yeah, Fordy taking the win there. Vegan Prescott in his hometown advantage kind of match. The match that he really should have the upper hand in, not able to take it. What does that tell you about Fordy? What does that tell you about Vegan Prescott?
Yeah, never mind Fordy. Right now, Vegan Prescott focusing his attention on Ryden. He's tagged in the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man with that leaping back elbow. Taking the smirk off of the face of Ryden, and not before time. Snapmare into a 1 count. Now Prescott tagging back in. Big boot from Vegan Prescott. Prescott going for the cover, gets a 1 count. Invisible Man tagging back in. Frequent tags here from the challengers for the P.E.W tag team titles. Ryden now, by the way, a 2-time tag team champion here in P.E.W. First time was with the Prestige before, hey, guess what? The Prestige turned against him, because that's the Prestige for you.
This is not about the Prestige. This moment is about the current tag team champions. And I was speaking to Ryden in the back, and he had to tell me that this means so much more to him, this particular tag team championship victory.
Crossbody, excuse me. Dan, there's a cover and a 2 and a kick out. You just can't take your eyes off the challengers here. They're not paid by the hour. They're going for pinfall after pinfall when they can.
Frustrating the champions here.
Ryden, tug of the hair. Remember, Ryden and Ilano Stone, whether they are still tag team champions or not, headed into that 8-man tag team match at Legacy a couple of weeks from now.
You know, they're going to want to be holding that gold above their heads, because those tag team belts symbolize everything that this unit is supposed to be.
The Cause set to face CJ Rawlings, Steve Valentino, Martin Kirby, and the returning former world champion Jack Seltzer. Speaking of Martin Kirby, by the way, our main event up next sees Kirby take on the current world champion, Riley Nova.
Speaking of tag teams with history, that is going to be one that is not only intense physically, but intense emotionally as well.
Here comes the tag. Again, Vegan Prescott taking out his frustrations here on Ilano Stone. To the ropes, catches him. And drops him with the side slam. Prescott hooks both legs and was within a second of becoming a tag team champion.
That was, if I may say, quite a meaty sidewalk slam. Perhaps it was tofu.
By hip toss. And a body slam from Prescott.
An entire hall in the middle of England chanting for a vegan. Never thought I'd live to see the day.
Ryden getting in. Ryden wasn't tagged in. Why is he in there? Referee needs to get some control. Meanwhile, Ilano Stone took advantage of the distraction, trying to retain the tag titles via the back door there, and came pretty close to doing it.
With naysayers like you around him, Stone has a point to prove that he has every right to be in this match representing the tag team championships. And he's doing just that. Smart, keeping Vegan Prescott in the corner.
Ryden continuing the assault here. Prescott taken down with a clothesline. Ryden trying for a pin for the champions. It's just a 2 count. As we expected, tonight proving highly consequential as we head towards Legacy. Meanwhile, we want to thank everybody who has been able to donate to P.E.W as part of our Patreon subscription. There's Ilano Stone in the corner, continuing the double team. Stone going to send Prescott into the knee of Ryden. Stone continuing to test the resolve here of Vegan Prescott. With a standing moonsault. Hook of the leg from Stone and a kick out on 2. Prescott hanging on. A special shout out then to our patrons, Chris Alexander, Gareth Alexander, Margaret Brown, Kevin Brown, Emma Dutton, Stephen Hibbins, Nikki Davis, Mo Davis, LJ Brooker, Melanie Simpson, Jade Calloway, Steve Oldbury, Anna Burgess, Matt Hisco, and Tracy Hart. Thank you, as always, for your incredible support.
Support that means a lot any way you can give it, and support being shown in this arena right now for the Invisible Man and Vegan Prescott, who just can't seem to get into gear.
Leiden looking increasingly cocky in the corner. Particularly heartbreaking with Leiden, you know, because he used to be such a respectful young man when he was first here, first our sound technician before he became a full-time P.E.W wrestler. What has become of him since he met H. Hood and became part of the cause? Here's the pin and a 2 count.
Respect goes both ways, Dave. I mean, if you're going to give it, you also have to, if you're going to receive it, rather, you always have to give it. And not everybody was giving Leiden the level of respect. And H. Hood comes along, shows him a sort of future vision of the kind of person he could be. And the proof of the pudding is in the eating. He is a tag team champion as we speak.
Yeah, by convincing Leiden to win championships for Hood.
Do you see H. Hood in this match right now?
I bet he's very, very close by. Put it that way.
Of course he is. Watching his proteges get a cover here to retain their tag team championships.
No one here can do this.
Oh, I'm glad I can't do that.
Taking 1 second too long to grab hand. That's definitely a lesson H. Hood, who is watching this match, is going to perhaps want to note down.
Leiden grabbing the leg of Invisible Man before Prescott can make the tag.
Smart strategy. Stopping Vegan Prescott, who desperately needs to make a tag to the Invisible Man.
An uppercut from Stone as Prescott sent ever more into enemy territory here. Tag to Leiden.
Just relentless pressure from the tag team champions.
Leiden. Milano Stone. Some real damage here to Vegan Prescott. Prescott able to kick him away. Great effort here from Prescott. Double clothesline. Prescott with a chance to make it over to the corner. Attacking the Invisible Man.
He desperately needs to. Both the champions down. This is his opportunity. The door is open.
He's gonna get there, is he? Yes, he is! Here comes the Invisible Man. Clothesline takes down Stone. One takes down Leiden as well. The Invisible Man with the tag titles firmly in his sights. Big body slams for the tag team champions.
The champions are going to need to dig down deep, find some resolve here.
Missile drop kick off the second turnbuckle. Takes them both down. Are we moments away from another tag title change? We might be. The hook of the leg from Invisible Man, and Leiden saved the tag titles for the cause.
At the last second, the Invisible Man has been standing on the apron watching helplessly, and now taking full advantage of his opportunity, but the champion's just too strong.
Milano Stone just battering the Invisible Man there for the cause. That rage, that anger seems to be a common factor in all 4 of them. Certainly helping them here. For the double suplex. Vegan Prescott saves his partner. We might get stereo suplexes instead from the challengers for the tag team titles. Yes, we will!
Vegan Prescott clearly eating his spinach.
Get the blankets!
Oh, come on. This is a serious contest. This is the kind of thing that separates challengers from champions.
go.
They went to exactly where they were already standing.
Appearing out of the cosmos. 1 count.
Cosmos, of course, a club just down the road from the Ettington Community Centre.
What?
You'd know if you were cool.
You gone clubbing without me?
That's at a certain level of points to get in.
Stone sending Prescott out of the ring. Meanwhile, Ryden's with a invisible man. Double T from the cause. Ilano Stone's the legal man. Go for the pin. Prescott breaks it up, and still we go on with the tag team title still hanging in the balance.
These championships mean so much to both of these teams. Not willing to give an inch.
Prescott trying to cheer on Invisible Man, trying to allow him to, or help him to get to his corner. One more tag maybe. If Prescott can get back in there, that could be the difference maker. Stunner!
Tag might not be necessary.
The tag! Prescott's got him! A vegan choke slam! Pin him! Prescott! Prescott with the pin on Ryden! Damn it, Ryden broke it up again. Prescott trying to neutralize the threat here. Ryden! Prescott's fired up! He is plant-powered! This vegan Prescott! A powerbomb on its way! Gut-wrench! Vegan powerbomb! And they're not showing the title! Ryden deliberately getting his team disqualified!
I think Ryden saw the writing on the wall there. That was a pretty powerful powerbomb.
As a result of a disqualification, the team of the Invisible Man and Vegan Prescott. Disqualification, still your P.E.W Tag Team Champions. The cause.
Ryden, you prick! Hey, we had the beat, don't you think? We were gonna win! Ryden, Ilano, get your asses back out here now! And I'm not done!
Well, back out here, but look, they're on their own. Fordy is with them. A 3-on-2 fight now. Vegan Prescott, Invisible Man against 3/4 of the cause.
Vegan Prescott's going to live to regret calling the cause back out here.
Yeah, heaven forbid they could come out and have an even fight. Had to make it 3-on-2, didn't they? And yeah, look who's here now. Look who's here.
As the cause knows very well, there is strength in numbers.
H. Hood surveying the handiwork of his 3 henchmen.
Proteges.
What are they proving? It's 4-on-2. What are the cause proving here?
They're proving what happens when you call them out. They're proving what happens when you doubt, question the cause. Vegan could have just let it lie. You know, chucked it up. It was not the cleanest of victories, but come back again another day, and instead he had to go and put his mouth before his brain.
Can we get some security or something out here? We can't just allow this to go on. The cause now just beating up Vegan Prescott. This isn't a wrestling
Why
match.
don't you go and do something about it one day?
My
This is
cause
sick.
is everybody's cause! It's your cause! Yours is my cause matters!
Hood's got Prescott, he's going to pick him up. Prescott is helpless, and he falls to the Hood hammer.
No one to blame but himself.
Are you watching Team Rawlings? 16 days from now, the cause taking on CJ Rawlings, Steve Valentino, Martin Kirby, and Jack Selstrom. The cause had their way tonight. Will they have their way again at Legacy?
Right! Steve Valentino!
But most important still, your tag
Jack
team
Selstrom!
champions,
Mike Kirby!
the Cause.
We'll see you next time! Mike 4! We're a team! We're one unit! You can't beat our unit! My Cause!
Hear that? My Cause. He said not the Cause, it's ancient Scots. They're just his foot soldiers. You know it's true.
He also called them a unit.
The Cause marching on to Legacy.
And this time we're going to have our main event of the evening. It's going to be a non-title match, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing first.
The former leader of the entitled P.E.W's first ever world champion, and a man who knows Riley Nova maybe better than Nova knows himself. You're looking at a British wrestling legend in Martin Kirby.
Kirby, one of the very best to step between the ropes. Taught Riley Nova everything he knows, but Riley Nova has taken that learning a few steps more.
Ladies and gentlemen, fighting as the first North Yorkshire. He is on behalf of Team Rice Krispies. This is Project Ego, Martin Kirby! And his opponents.
Here he comes. I love this part.
got in tow.
The champion's prerogative to make the people wait. He is the man we came to see.
My bill, my ring, my show.
He is the current reigning and defending P.E.W champion. He is the longest reigning ever P.E.W tag team champion.
That's me.
The only P.E.W double champion.
All you want.
The first and
No
only
control, any of you. My belt, my ring, my show.
He is your P.E.W champion. Please welcome toxic masculinity, Ronnie.
Riley Nova telling you all you need to know about his personality. He insisted on the ring announcer listing his various accomplishments on his way out here. World Championship around his waist that he won at Brave New World back in May. Been 3 long, painful months with Riley Nova as our world champion, but in just 2 weeks it could all end at the hands of Jason Joshua.
Jason Joshua proving earlier tonight what a challenger he will be for that belt, but that list of accomplishments wasn't there just for an ego trip. It is a statement. It is a statement.
It was there for an ego.
It can be both.
All your time, but I just wanted to say something. So I was backstage and I was thinking, tonight is all about pick your poison. And Big Daddy Unicorn picked me to face you. But when I thought about it, knowing what a little worm you are, and the fact you'll probably get yourself disqualified or get yourself counted out, I thought, what's in this for me? So, how about this, Riley? How about when I beat you, whether it's you still with that title or Big Daddy Unicorn, how about I get a title shot? And then I reclaim my P.E.W World Championship.
Quite a challenge laid down.
I think it's fair, completely fair.
See, you think you know me so well. You think I'm going to say no because I'm scared of you. But listen, Kirby. I ain't no chicken. You think I'm a chicken? You think I am? Guess what? I'll prove you wrong then. You're on.
Wow. Suddenly, this match takes on an entirely new dynamic.
Yeah, he got goaded into that, didn't he, by Kirby and by the P.E.W fans.
I don't know. I think the champion has shown a certain amount of moxie in the way he won the championship. Not afraid of a challenge, not afraid to take on all comers. And it shows a great deal of confidence in himself to acknowledge and to accept that kind of stipulation on a match like this.
Just to clarify, for those who've been following along, keeping score, this tonight is a non-title match. As Kirby said, something they pick your poison match, if you like. It's Jason Joshua choosing the opponent for Riley Nova tonight, just as Nova picked Joshua's opponent earlier on.
And you got to give him a great deal of credit. I mean, this is a brilliant choice.
Kirby knowing.
Wrestling! You're meant to be one of the best wrestlers in the country! You're throwing punches! You're throwing punches!
Nova complaining.
Why's he hitting me?
Not surprised that Martin Kirby wants to throw some punches.
But it's been a big rules-heavy day here at P.E.W, and the rules are you cannot throw a punch with a closed fist, and it looks like that's exactly what Martin Kirby was trying to do. The champion has every right to call him out.
Not so long ago, Riley Nova and the rest of what was then the entitled turned their backs on Martin Kirby. Kirby has never forgotten that. Kirby with plenty of motivation to beat up Riley Nova, but now having goaded Nova into putting a future title shot on the line, if Kirby were to win here, but even more reason to go after his former protege. Kirby countering every hold that Nova is trying to apply. Kirby has some mat wrestling skills here.
But look at this, every single thing that Kirby is throwing at it, Riley Nova knows a way out. I mean, look there.
Oh, Nova ended up taken by surprise. This seemingly cocky, seemingly impenetrable psychological armor of Riley Nova, starting to have a few little cracks in it.
that is, as much as I hate to give him credit, that is exactly what Jason Joshua is looking for in the choice of Martin Kirby here, is to unsettle the champion.
Two very different strategies. Nova, he picked Thorne, wanted to hopefully crack some bones on Jason Joshua. It's more of a psychological crack that Jason Joshua is looking for by picking Kirby.
Sometimes that can be all the difference. We were talking about it a lot, the mentality of Jason Joshua, whether or not he had the mental fortitude to be the champion. Well, he's certainly showing a Machiavellian streak.
By the way, though, there will also be some physical damage, I'm sure, because Martin Kirby, as I said, very well motivated here. A beating on Riley Nova.
And a beating he can dish out more than happy to. One of the most talented strikers in the business.
He's getting increasingly frustrated here, is Nova, if you look, because whenever they're going down to the mat, Kirby's just about managing to get the upper hand. He's countering everything that Nova is doing here. I said earlier, Kirby knows Nova better than Nova knows himself. And God, Nova just cannot find an answer for Kirby. Look at this.
Maybe showing, as much as I hate to admit it, some of the inexperience, some of the youth of the champion, getting frustrated a bit easily, letting his frustrations get the better of himself, not looking for something new. I mean, that was new.
Yeah, that so much for the preening, cocky champion. So just an angry right hand from Nova. The real Riley Nova showing his face.
Angry but effective, taking Kirby clean off his feet. Going for another one.
Even now, though, Kirby finding an answer whenever Riley Nova is able to throw some offense his way, and Martin Kirby on top again. Nova's going to reverse the whip. Kirby, shoulder roll, second turnbuckle, back elbow. Kirby on top once more, and Nova rolling to the outside for a much needed timeout. Might be a short timeout though, because Kirby coming after him.
Exactly that, Kirby going right after the champ. These people have been chanting coward, calling him runaway Riley, questioning whether or not this champion, our champion, has the bravery. I mean, that was brave. But don't forget, this is a guy who saw an opportunity and took it. That's how he became the world champion. You don't become a world champion of any organization by being a coward.
To bring out that aggressive streak. That is something that Kirby saw in him. That's why Kirby recruited him to the entitled in the first place.
There's no denying, whatever you want to say about his record, that this is one of the, I mean...
Back of Kirby's head onto the knee of Riley Nova. Nova getting two before Kirby kicked out.
I was going to say one of the most exciting young talents, and showing us exactly why.
Positioning it perfectly, right between those shoulder blades of Kirby. P.E.W fan trying to cheer Martin Kirby back into this. Can he feed off their energy against an increasingly confident world champion? Here comes Kirby, going to shove Nova into the ropes. Nova knew what was coming from Kirby. Took him a couple of attempts, but he got there. It's Nova striking Kirby in the head and getting two.
I wonder how Jason Joshua feels about Martin Kirby's challenger as well, because it's not just who wins that belt. If Jason Joshua becomes the world champion, he's going to know he's got Martin Kirby breathing down his neck. If he wins that, it will be his own fault for choosing Kirby in this match.
Ahead of ourselves, and all of that only matters, of course, if Kirby is to win here.
Oh, you don't think he has what it takes to win this match? I see.
Riley Nova desperate to duplicate what Jason Joshua did earlier. Joshua was able to beat Thorne, who Nova chose as his opponent. If Nova cannot beat the opponent that Joshua chose for him, the psychological edge will swing back in the way of Jason Joshua.
certainly right on that one. An incredible win from Joshua, showing real fortitude. Even I didn't think he had it in him. But I know this champion right here has it in him.
Kirby just briefly put the brakes on, then it was mistimed by Nova. Looking backbreaker there.
Hard backbreaker on the knee.
Quick snap suplex from the veteran, Martin Kirby, our first ever world champion. Getting a 2 count and almost put himself in line for a shot to regain the world title later on, a few months from now maybe.
And as impressed as I am by Riley Nova, as much as I want to get across what a talent we have as our world champion, you can't put anything past Martin Kirby. There was a reason he was the first champion and why he held that title for so long.
Over, trying again for the cover, didn't hook the leg. Kirby able to kick out. Elbow right to the middle of the back again. Got him hooked and tight again. Kirby, even with the leg hooked, finding a way to kick out. And once more the fans trying to get Kirby to somehow get a second win here. That arrogance.
Arrogance that does come with youth. But look at that. The kick out straight into this vicious looking submission.
Nova trying to wear down Kirby. He'd like nothing more, Nova, than to force a submission out of his former mentor. Then he buries his knee into the back of the spine, gets another pin attempt on him. Straight back on him, Nova.
We've spoken about the psychological impact it might have to lose to Martin Kirby just before going into the match. What a psychological boost it will be to put, as you say, his former mentor away, heading into that huge match in a couple of weeks' time.
I mean, that's the gamble that Jason Joshua took, is that he could be giving Nova a boost, you're right. Kirby, though, very much had the psychological upper hand in the opening parts of this match. Nova settled into it. Kirby is the one having to battle back, but battle back he is. Kirby now, trying to send Nova to the ropes. Nova able to counter. Duck of the clothesline by Kirby. Duck of the elbow from Kirby. Kirby holding on to the ropes. And then Kirby taking down Nova. And again. Inverted atomic drop by Martin Kirby. A high leg lariat. Kirby to defeat the world champion. No.
I really thought that might have been it. That was a powerful shot. And we spoke about it in the match earlier on with Thorne and Joshua, how much recovery Joshua's going to need to go after a battle like that. This is a very different kind of battle. The stamina that this is taking out, the high pace of Martin Kirby, that's taking this energy away from Riley Nova. Is he going to be able to pull that back?
Remember, September 15th, win, lose or draw here. Riley Nova will defend the world title at Legacy against Jason Joshua just a little more than 2 weeks from now. Nova was biting Kirby there.
Ooh. The force behind that boot from Nova.
The boot in there did Nova. Scoops him up. Slams him down hard, so hard that he thinks he might be able to get the win off from that. It might be right. He gets that left shoulder just up off the canvas in time.
Sometimes a move as simple as that can be what does it. You saw the force with which he drove Kirby into the mat, all the air pushing out of his lungs. Sometimes that's it, going for the cover. That's that smart championship instinct of Riley Nova.
Man, Nova just slapping Kirby around the head. Kirby won't like that. And the self-regard that Riley Nova has for himself makes me sick.
But I mean, that same self-regard was taught to him by Martin Kirby. Martin Kirby gave him that confidence.
Maybe even Kirby's looking up at Riley Nova now and thinking, what have I created? I've made a monster.
He's made a champion, Bradshaw.
Kirby firing back. Kirby certainly is a champion. The heart of a champion from Kirby, but Nova again knocking him down. Kirby back on his feet. A knee right into the abdomen. Kirby takes the run up.
This match, I mean, that is what, a second, third, maybe even a fourth win for Martin Kirby. He somehow finds it. That's what's made him such a champion over the years. It's that he tried to instill in Riley Nova.
Kirby lining him up again. Nova tried to kick him away. Kirby caught Nova by the feet, swung into the apron, and then kicked him right in the face.
Surprised he's got any teeth left.
Kirby headed up top.
Going high risk.
Crossbody from Kirby. Kirby stays on top, and he nearly got him.
With every passing minute, a little bit more of that energy, a little bit more of that stamina is being sucked out of the champion 2 weeks before arguably the biggest match of his life, the defense of the P.E.W World Championship at Legacy.
Kirby thinks he might be on the brink of defeating the world champion. Nova able to stop him. Nova though, to the ropes. Nova overhead neck breaker.
He's stepping it up.
Riley Nova gets him up, drops him on the knee, a move he learned from his former tag partner, the man he betrayed, Brady Phillips, and he got two.
When you have the opportunity to be in a partnership with people like Martin Kirby, people like Brady Phillips, you do want to learn. You want to take every ounce of intelligence, of experience you can, and use it in your arsenal like we've seen tonight.
Deadlift there from Nova, great strength from Riley Nova, is it enough? Nobody is getting very, very close on these pin attempts now.
I really don't know how much Martin Kirby has left. He's taught Riley Nova an awful lot, but one of the things you can't teach is youth. Riley Nova has that over his former mentor.
Tell you what, the next few moments here could be critical, not just tonight, but in that world title match 2 weeks from now. Nova, he can beat Kirby here with a huge boost, but if he loses it, could be over. Don't look down there. The move taught to him by another one of his mentors, Joseph Connors, man who trained him. Spinning kick into Guri from Kirby.
Well, both men down, both men unable to capitalize. Kirby needs to crawl over and get a cover. There is an opportunity at the P.E.W World Championship at stake.
Kirby on his front, trying to push himself up, gritting his teeth. Referee's up to a count of 5. Kirby, though, is stirring.
Riley needs to get back to his feet.
Kirby.
Can't let Kirby get the upper hand here.
Nova's out. Nova just collapsed.
I'll be honest here, I'm kind of speechless by that. Oh, wait!
Oh, he was playing possum. Nova was playing possum and he nearly caught him. 2 counts.
I mean, genius from the champion. Oh!
Dropped him with that Samoan driver. The pin. And the kick out again from Kirby.
Riley cannot believe his eyes. Absolutely convinced that was a 3.
It's a move, he's so confident of, he's given it his own name. He calls it the Ryle Driver. It nearly did put away the former leader of the entitled.
On any other day, that absolutely would have put his opponent away, but on this night, with the stakes as high as they are for Martin Kirby, not enough. He's going to need to dig a little bit deeper into the bag of tricks.
Certainly true. It is central to the psyche of Riley Nova that he holds onto that title. He does need it. He's going to try for a second Ryle Driver. Kirby not going to allow that to happen. Slips out the back door. Schoolboy roll up from Ronnie. Kirby. out. Now crucifix pin. He'll try again, and again Nova will kick out. Pace quickening here. Kirby into a cradle. Cradle from Kirby, and another kick out just. And it is the finest of margins here. Kirby to the right, super kick. The super kick for Nova. That's going to do it for Riley. No, it's not. No, it's not. Left shoulder pops up for Martin Kirby.
Nearly took Kirby's head clean off. But I suppose this is what separates champions from wannabes. Kirby showing a championship grit that we know he has in him.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Kirby might have survived one of those super kicks. Nova can line him up here. He can hit a second one. I don't care how much of a veteran you are, how much of a superstar you are, you don't kick out of 2 super kicks.
Basically out on his feet.
You got him again.
I don't think that's enough for the champion.
Nova's got him up. Nova, but don't look down.
That's
the move he learned from Joseph Connors, a hook of the leg from Riley Nova, and Nova marches on to legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, toxic masculinity, Riley Nova.
Toxic masculinity indeed, and it is a toxic that has poisoned the P.E.W world title. But for how much longer, Dan Leiden? Because in 2 weeks' time, it could be that Big Daddy Unicorn wins the big one.
He certainly showed us tonight that he's got what it takes to battle through any comers, but as we've just seen in that match here, Riley Nova has the ability to put away someone of the caliber of Martin Kirby, to fight, to dig deep, and to prove his worth as world champion.
Nova and Joshua both surviving their selected opponents, and now we're going to hear from our world champion.
And what did I tell you? Since day one. It can be as boring as you like. It's a weird formula. And tonight is just another example of that. Since day one, I've been in this main event scene and I have won by every means necessary. And tonight is just one more example of why I am bred for better. But still, with everything going on, you still prefer that absolute whip, Jason Joshua. And in just a couple of weeks' time, please buy your tickets, because it's the last chance you'll get to see him wrestle when I end his worthless career. And I'm going to go one step further. I proved one point tonight, and I'm going to prove another. I want to give you people a preview of next month. So Jason Joshua, get yourself out here in this ring right now. I don't care if you have to crawl or be carried to this ring. I want you out here right now.
Confident? Is he getting overconfident?
Even I wouldn't advise this.
Having just wrestled Martin Kirby, calling out his challenger for legacy. And Jason Joshua's been through the wars tonight as well.
It's a stare that I want to see. It's a match I cannot wait for, but I don't know how well advised this is from either man. Wait a second!
Wait. Thorne! The man who Joshua defeated earlier! And the prestige is out here as well. It was a setup. It was an ambush.
He's calling for it.
A super kick. Joshua won't go down. Nova.
Now we'll go down.
But don't look down. Does send him down.
Bye-bye.
if that happens 16 days from now, then this reign of terror with the world title that has been the reign of Riley Nova will continue, and it may continue indefinitely.
You want to talk about rubbing salt in the wound of prestige with that fast count in inverted commas. Really breaking the spirit of Big Daddy Unicorn.
I told you! Big Daddy Unicorn is done! In 2 weeks' time, his career is over! It's over! It's over!
And we know that Jason Joshua
This is your champion!
has put his career on the line when he faces Riley Nova at Legacy. It is the championship of Riley Nova against the career of Jason Joshua. And if we see what we just saw then, if Riley Nova can hit the Don't Look Down in 16 days' time at Legacy, then the career of Big Daddy Unicorn could be over. But conversely, if Joshua can get it done, then we will have a new world champion.
And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget on September the 15th, Big Daddy Unicorn will get his opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to face off against Riley Nova. Make some noise once again for Jason Joshua.
Jason Joshua headed to the biggest night, possibly the last night of his career. Can Jason Joshua get it done?